My New Life in Equestria by MaxBeezy. Chapter 17. Jailbreak. Cold. That's all Applejack could feel once she was pulled into the black cloud commanded by King Sombra. Her teeth chattered, her coat, which was her last line of defense for warmth, stood up. Everything about where she was nothing but freezing cold. There wasn't much more she could take. The temperatures, along with the feeling of moving at a fast rate of speed, was enough to cause her to black out, not knowing where she would be when she woke up, if she woke up at all. She did wake up. No longer did she feel like she was dragged, but the feeling of being frozen stayed with her. A new sensation was there, though. She felt as if she was on a hard concrete floor. With a quick tap of her hoof, she could tell that the floor was made of hard stone. She couldn't see, however, as darkness surrounded her side. "Hello?" she calls out. "Is any pony there?" There is no response, but she can hear moving around in the room. "Hello?" A groan echoes from the darkness, followed by a cough. "Who's there?" Applejack asks. "Applejack?" The unmistakable voice of Twilight says. "Where are we?" "I don't know. I can't see a thing. Can you use your horn to light things up?" "Hold on," she grunts, trying to cast a simple illumination spell. For a brief second there was a slight bit of light, but it goes out before they could assess where they were. "What's going on?" she asks to herself. "This should be easy." "Maybe that Sombra put a spell on your horn, like Cadence. Oh my goodness, where's Cadence? And the others?" More groans are heard in the room. There are multiple ones this time, but all of them sounded recognizable to the two conscious ponies. "Who's there?" Twilight asks to all. "Sound off." "Rarity." "Fluttershy." "Rainbow Dash." "Pinkie Pie." "Cadence." "Trixie." No pony else calls out, only they are present. Twilight and Applejack sigh in relief that at least they are okay. "Rarity, Trixie, can you use your horns?" "Let me try," Rarity responds. Like Twilight, she lets out a series of grunts and a little bit of magic before sputtering out with almost nothing. Trixie has the same misfortune. "I can't do it." "Me neither," Trixie says. "Where are we?" "That's what we are trying to find out," answered Twilight. It's so cold in here," the chattering of teeth of Fluttershy can be heard. My coat can barely warm me up." "Let me help," said Rainbow Dash. A couple hoofsteps later, and a loud clonk is heard. "Ow! What in the hay?" She taps a little on the metal in front of her. "Bars!" She taps all around her. "I'm surrounded by bars." The others feel around. They can feel the same thing. We're in a prison?" Pinkie Pie asks. "Or a dungeon," said Rarity. "This place feels so grimy." "We must be in some kind of fortress," Cadence takes a guess. "We have to find a way out of here." "Let me try," Applejack says with confidence. "Maybe all these bars need is a little bucking." She walks up to one. "Here goes nothing." She raises her buck hoofs and clang! She bucks them as hard as she could. Her back legs vibrate, and she falls to the floor. "Okay, let me try again." Another loud clang. Another thud on the floor. "So it's time to charm." Clang, thud. "These bars are more stubborn than I thought." "There has to be some weakness," Twilight thought. "We just have to—" Before she could speak any further, a door at the far end opens. The light from the outside illuminates the room they are in. Their guess was correct. They are all in their own cells, in a dirty, grimy dungeon. Rats scurry about at the light, crawling into their holes in the walls. In the front of the door farm stands a stallion, dressed in royal Canterlot garb. Cadence recognizes him immediately. "It's Shining Armor!" screams Cadence with excitement. "We're saved!" Shining Armor slowly walks in, turning his head to each cell. His eyes fix on Applejack's cell. "That goodness you hear, Shining Armor. You have to—" Shining Armor runs to Applejack's cell in a flash, getting right in front of her. His eyes glow green, and he flashes his teeth at her. There's something definitely wrong with him. "Silence, whelp!" he roars at her. "Stop making noise. King Sombra would be very displeased to hear of your insolence."
"Hey!"
Rainbow Dash calls out.
"Don't talk to her like that!"
He rushes to her with blinding speed, making her fall back in surprise. "Shut your mouth, slave!"
"What's wrong with you, Shining?"
Cadence asks.
"Why have you betrayed us?"
Shining Armor goes to her cell. "Sombra showed me your lies and deceit, and I have joined with him." His eyes glow a fierce green as he talks.
"What has he done with you?"
"I made him into a superior soldier." A familiar voice calls out from the front. All eyes turn to King Sombra, standing in the doorframe. "It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. Every royal guard I have in my possession have fallen under my spell, and they are quite loyal to my cause. Shining Armor?" "Yes, my king?" "Watch over the other prisoners. Leave me alone with these mares." "Of course, right away." He gallops past the king and into the outside. "I do apologize for my inconsiderate nature," he says. "I forgot to give you some light and warmth. Allow me." His horn glows, the fireplace in the center bursts on, and candles are lit by every cell, allowing for light. "Much better. I would hate to have you ponies freeze to death before I had my fun."
"What have you done to Shining Armor?"
Cadence demands. Sombra laughs as he trots to her cell.
"Tell me."
"I merely took his fears and used them to my advantage. Did you know his greatest fear was growing old and dying while you stayed young and beautiful? Being an alicorn, I can't imagine how tough it must be. I told him that he didn't need you, that he could have any pony he wanted, not having to worry about the fear of watching you stand frozen in time, while he shriveled away like a bad fruit. You are of no use to him now. You're nothing."
"No."
A tear goes down her cheek.
"You're lying. He would never—"
"Leave you?" he growls. "He just did, princess. Did you see the way he ran out of the room? He doesn't care about you anymore. He doesn't even want to look at you. All he sees is a worthless mare that has zero meaning to him."
"How dare you!"
Twilight yells at him.
"How could you do that to my brother?"
Sombra turns to her, eyebrow raised, shocked at this new development. "Brother?" he grins. "I didn't know he was your brother. Funny. You weren't at all in his thoughts or fears. Perhaps you don't matter to him."
"That's not true,"
Twilight rebuffs.
"You're just trying to scare me."
"Am I? Are you sure about that? I bet deep down you realize what I'm saying is true. If you need any comfort, I would be more than happy to supply it."
"Shut up!"
Applejack yells.
"Get away from her!"
Sombra shoots a fiery look at Applejack. He licks his razor-sharp teeth as he goes over to her. "Ah, yes, the beautiful bride. I must commend your husband's tenacity. I saw him at the princess's castle the last time I was there."
"He's alive."
A shred of hope remains. "For now. I doubt he'll be around for much longer."
"Y'all bet not lay a hoof on him."
"Funny. That's what he told me when speaking of you. I wish I could find out what makes him tick. He managed to break out of my spell quite easily. Much more than I can say about poor Cadence and Biot." He looks at the sniffling Cadence, pride in his smile. "Maybe I'll see him soon. I told him and the others what I wanted, and if they're smart, they'll hold their end of the bargain."
"Which is what, exactly?"
"All I ask is that they give me the elements of harmony, and I'll let you and your friends go. No harm, no foul."
"They'll never give you what you want."
"I doubt you'll feel the same once I tell you the alternative."
"No matter what you say, they'll come for us. They'll save us, and they'll destroy you."
"You are certain that the princesses will help you? Why? What makes you so special?
Nothing. I'm just a simple farm pony from Ponyville, but I know that they would never give in a cowardly puff of smoke like you.
You best watch your tongue, he growls. I am your king.
You're not my king,
she screams back.
There are 2 rulers of Equestria, and neither of them are you.
Sombra lets out a loud roar, expanding into a cloud of black smoke. Applejack steps back in fright as he materializes in her cell. She backs into a corner, nowhere to run or hide. The others yell from their cells.
"Get away from her!"
shouts Rainbow Dash.
"Leave her alone, you big meanie!"
yells Pinkie Pie.
"Don't you dare touch her!"
calls Rarity. The king does not listen to any of them as he inches closer to the cowering Applejack. He smiles his sinister smile, tongue snaking its way out of his mouth, brushing against the cheek of Applejack. "Such fire in you," he whispers in her ear. "You fear me, but you are willing to stand up to me. It's very invigorating. If I could take you right here, and all your friends can watch." He opens his jaws, brushing his teeth against her coat. In an instant he pulls back with a smile. "But a promise is a promise."
What did you promise?"
"I told them that they have 1 hour to bring me the elements of harmony. If they do not, then I will partake in my indulgences. They have half an hour to go, and the moment they don't fulfill my bargain, you will be my first." He gets closer to her again, and I am so very looking forward to it.
"No!"
Trixie shouts with defiance. He turns to her.
"Take me instead!"
All eyes fall on Trixie in surprise and shock.
"Leave Applejack out of this!"
"Trixie!" Applejack yells out.
"No, it must be done."
Sombra floats into her cell. She steps back, but only slightly. He floats around her, inspecting her body. He licks his lips, liking what he sees. "You are willing to sacrifice yourself for her?" Trixie gives Applejack a tearful look before responding.
"Yes."
"Very admirable. It's been too long since I've had a willing subject." He chuckles, thinking of the possibilities with her. "Very well. If I don't have what I want, you will be the first."
"And Applejack will be left alone?"
"Yes," he growls. "No harm will come to her. I look forward to our time together. I'll see you soon." He turns completely into smoke, flying out of the room, closing the door. Trixie immediately collapses to the floor in tears. The others look in her direction. They desperately want to break through the bars and comfort her, but all they can do is watch her cry.
"Trixie,"
Twilight softly says.
"I'm all right."
She sniffles.
"Don't worry about me. Just try to find a way out of here."
"Don't you worry about a thing, Trixie,"
Rainbow Dash assures her.
"We'll bust out of here before that guy comes back. We promise you."
The others agree with her. Trixie looks at them in wonderment.
"You would help me?"
"Of course we would, silly."
Pinkie Pie smiles.
"What are friends for?"
Trixie is caught off guard by what Pinkie says. Friends? Them? After everything that she did to them?
"But I tried to humiliate all of you. I banished Twilight from Ponyville. I thought you all hated me." "Hate is a strong word, Trixie. More like annoyed, since then, after you redeemed yourself, you were always welcome to Ponyville." A tear goes down Trixie's cheek, but it's no longer one of sadness, but joy and hope. "Thank you," she says. "I'm grateful for you, all of you." She looks at Applejack, who is still worried for her safety. "What is wrong?"
"Why?" Applejack asks.
"Why did you do that? You didn't have to sacrifice yourself for me." "I had to."
She looks at her with a smirk.
"It's your wedding day."
"This is not at all how I imagined my wedding to turn out."
"Come now, darling."
Rarity chuckles.
"I thought all brides dreamed of being kidnapped of their wedding day."
Applejack chuckles, appreciative of Rarity trying to make light of the situation. Still, her thoughts swirled with what will happen if things go south. She shakes those feelings away. She has to remain strong. She cannot show weakness. Suddenly, a series of storms are heard marching towards the door, getting louder with each step. With a powerful kick, the door is swung open and Sombra in shining armor walks through.
"You know what?" Sombra says. "I don't take requests."
He shoots a killer look at Applejack.
"I'm tired of waiting. I'll take what I want now."
All ponies in the room fall into a state of panic, running to the front of the cells, yelling at the king to stay away from Applejack.
"No, we had a deal,"
Trixie yells the loudest, getting his attention.
"Sorry, my dear, I don't do deals. But don't you worry your pretty mane. You'll come next."
Shining Armor walks to the cage, unlocking it with one of the keys around his neck. Sombra opens the cell, approaching the cowering Applejack with malicious intent. She tries backing away as far as she can, but all that is behind her is more bars. He leans down by her face, sniffing her delicate scent of fresh apples.
"Shining Armor, stay here. Watch over the girls, make sure they don't try anything to escape. And try not to spoil them too much."
"As you wish, my king." Sombra explodes into a massive cloud of smoke, enveloping Applejack, wrapping her in his smoky tendrils. He zips out of the door at such a fast speed she didn't even have time to call out to her friends for help. The moment the door slams shut, every pony cries out her name in horror, tears pouring from their eyes.
"Shut up!"
Shining Armor kicks their cages.
"Keep it down, or I'll give you a reason to keep it down."
"Shining Armor!" Cadence screams to him.
"Snap out of it, please!"
"You shut your mouth. I don't have to listen to you." He kicks her cage extra hard.
"Now lay there like the dog you are."
"This isn't you, Shining Armor," Twilight calls to him.
"Fight it! I know you can."
"I said be quiet!"
Twilight steps back in fear of her possessed brother.
"This is a nightmare."
The ponies whimper, crying at whatever horrors Applejack will be submitted to. Hope is fading fast for them. Applejack is carried to Sombra's chambers. The door swings open, and she is thrown onto his bed. She darts her gaze around his room, looking at all the relics he has amassed over his years of hiding in the shadows. Bits, jewels, crystals, a money-grubber's dream. He slams the door, bringing him to her fullest attention. She backs up, trying to get away from him, but is stopped by the headboard of the bed. He snarls at her, baring his teeth ever so slightly before going to just a frown.
"Do not worry, my dear. I will not take your body just yet."
He removes his cloak from his neck armor, flinging it onto a rack.
"I'm going to tell you something."
He removes the armor from his hoofs.
"That not many ponies know."
He removes his chest plate.
"I'm going to tell you about myself."
"Why?"
Applejack snaps.
"I thought I wasn't special."
"Though you show fear, I also see courage in your eyes. It has truly been years since a mare has looked at me like that. After I am finished, I will have what I desire from you."
In her mind, she wants to escape, but she fears that if she tries, he will kill her immediately. She has to let him speak. She could let him have a song and dance routine if it delays what lurid thought he must have in his mind.
What's your story?"
she asks.
"How much do you know about me?"
"Not much. Only the princess has called you a unicorn with a heart as black as night."
"That's what she said about me?" He chortles. "How cute. Did you know that I was once a captain of her royal guard?"
"No, I didn't."
"I was the best. I followed her orders to the letter. My army loved me. To them, I was a king. It became a nickname for me among my most loyal of guards. I loved my army, but most of all, I loved her."
"Princess Celestia?"
"Oh, yes. I desired her more than any mare in all of Equestria, and I still do. One day I was sent here to the icy north to investigate a series of murders concocted by an evil witch who lived in the mountains. Leading a squad of my best soldiers, I journeyed into the heart of the mountain, prepared to kill this foul beast. But she was powerful. She killed everyone on my team, but I was spared."
"Why?"
"She looked into my eyes. She saw my desire for power and for the princess. She offered me the chance to prove my worth and give me all the power I could ever want. She was persuasive in her argument. She gave me immortality, the power to bend the clouds and smoke to my very will, but it came at a price. He turns to her, showing her his chest. There is a black gaping hole in the middle of it. She took my beating heart. Applejack gasps at the fleshy chasm in his chest. It still looks fresh, even though he is over 1,000 years old. She also gave me another power, one that I'm sure you are aware of. I can take any pony's fears and desires and turn it against them. I can manipulate the thoughts of others and make them my slaves. I could build armies in an instant, take over cities in the blink of an eye. But to keep my powers going, to stay alive, only one thing could quench my hunger. He opens a nearby chest. Floating out of it, it's a beautiful blue crystal. Crystals. He plunges one deep into the hole in his chest. The crystal dissipates, and a blue glow flows through his veins before going away. He sighs in relief. That's why I set my sights on the Crystal Kingdom. They had enough to keep me alive for as long as I wish. Overnight I took over that kingdom, and I ruled it over with no pony to stop me. Except
the princesses?
Yes, Celestia, my great love. She was repulsed by me. I was no longer her captain, I was just her enemy. Leading her own army, plus her sister, she turned those I controlled back to normal, and those still loyal to me died under her hoofs. The fight was long, brutal, and just when I thought I had them, they banished me to the icy north, where I was frozen for over 1,000 years.
What happened to the witch?
She was long dead when I awoke. If she was still alive, I would have killed her anyway.
He looks into Applejack's eyes. She realizes that story time has come to a close. She knows what's coming next. He chuckles in response.
Well, enough about me.
He crawls into bed, looming over her. She sinks down, looking away from him.
Well, wait a sec.
She tries to delay him further.
But please don't do this.
I think I've talked for quite enough.
No, we can fix this,
she pleads.
You can go to the princesses, try to figure something out.
We are past words, the princesses and I. If I need something from her, I'll just take it.
Sombra, please.
He slams a hoof down on the headboard, startling her.
King Sombra, he snarls. I know what you're trying to do, a misguided attempt to appeal to my better nature. What you're seeing now is my better nature. Now I'm going to ask the most important question of your life. What is it do you truly fear?
His eyes glow a bright green as a bead of sweat drops down Applejack's face. Shining Armor paces through the dungeon, watching each of the ponies with contempt for them. Whenever they would look up, all they would get is an angry glare from him. He passes by Cadence's cell, looking at her for an extra long time. As he turned his back, "Why did you marry me?" Cadence asked.
What?
If you were afraid of growing old, while I stayed young, why did you marry me? He turns to her, still looking mighty angry with her.
I thought it didn't matter, but we've been together for 2 years now, and I'm not getting any younger. Look at you, so perfect and beautiful. You don't have to worry about such things.
I do worry about such things.
Why? You won't start aging until you're well past 5,000 years.
I wasn't talking about me. I was talking about you. Do you really think that I don't think about that same problem every day?
He pauses, but then goes back to his usual attitude. You don't have to worry about it anymore.
Why are you really afraid? She asks. He turns his back to her. Shining Armor, you can't hide from me forever.
Because once I'm gone, I'll be nothing to you.
He shoots a look at her, walking close to her cell.
You'll find another stallion, and love him, and then another, and then I'll be nothing to you but a distant thought. I want a mare that will grow old and die with me, not an alicorn that will forget about me after I'm gone."
"Oh, my sweet shining armor!"
She reaches out a hoof through the gaps in the bars, touching his face. He recoils at the touch, but she doesn't give up. Reluctantly, he lets her touch him. She caresses his cheek. "When you leave this world, I will mourn you. I will shed more tears than I can bear. When you die, it will be a long, long time before I move to another."
"But you will move on."
"Perhaps. There will most likely be other husbands in my lifetime, but no matter what, they will always have the same exact flaw."
"Which is what?"
"They will not be you."
Shining Armor freezes in place. For a brief second, his newly cold heart has begun to warm up. "What?" His eyes water. "What did you say?"
"No pony can ever replace you. No pony can make me smile as wide as when I'm with you, laugh as hard when I'm with you, or laugh as much when I'm with you."
But what about when—"
"The day will come eventually, but that's why I want to treat each day like it's my last with you. I want you to leave this world happy, not sad. I want you to leave with as much love as the day I met you."
She pulls him in, his muzzle going through the bars. "Cadence," he says softly, with a tear falling from his eyes.
"You have, and will always be, my special sun pony."
Their lips connect. It's a romantic kiss. As he closes his eyes, they suddenly open back up, the green from them shattering away. He looks at Cadence and separates himself from the kiss. "Cadence?" He backs away.
"Shining Armor?"
"What's—" He looks around the room. He doesn't know where he is. "Where am I? What are you doing in a prison cell?" He sees the others looking at him. "What are you all doing in prison cells?"
"We've been captured by Sombra," Twilight says. "He controlled your mind to be his slave."
"What?" He looks at the empty cell, then back at the others. "There's some pony missing. Did Applejack get captured?"
"Yes, Sombra has taken her to his quarters. He plans to do something terrible to her."
"We have to stop him quick," he says, determined, as he walks to the door.
"Shining Armor,"
Cadence says.
"You have the keys to our cells around your neck."
"Really?" He looks down at the necklace of keys. "Oh, right, I guess I do." Applejack runs through the desolate town of Ponyville, desperately searching for some pony or someone. She darts in all different directions, finding no one in her midst. Then she sees him, Matt, standing in the center of town. She runs to him with a relieved smile on her face.
"Matt, thank goodness you're here. Where is every pony?"
"They're gone, AJ. He speaks in an otherworldly voice. "They're all gone, just like me."
"What are you talking about?"
"I'm leaving. I'm going back home."
"Okay, take me with you."
"No, you stay right where you are, where you deserve to be."
"But there's no pony here."
"Exactly. You deserve to be alone, without friends or me. You don't belong with any pony or anyone."
"Matt, don't—"
she cries.
"Please."
"Goodbye, AJ." A portal opens up to take him away.
"Matt!"
She gasps for air, breaking out of the vision. Sombra leaps on top of her, pinning her to the bed. He looks at her, enraged and disappointed in what he just saw. "For shame. I thought you were different, but you're just the same as he is. Afraid of being alone, abandoned by your friends and family. Why did I ever expect anything different from you?"
"Let me go,"
she struggles, trying to get him off. It's not working.
"Get off."
"You're not worth another moment of my time," he growls.
Viciously, he tears her dress apart, revealing her bare body to him. Only tatters are still clanked to her shoulders.
"Please, stop,"
she pleads one more time.
"Don't we can—"
Work this out? Do you think I want to escape from this? That I am secretly looking for some kind of redemption? I am not your pathetic Princess Luna. I live for this."
"No,"
she whimpers. There is no saving this stallion. He has become pure evil.
I'm going to take great pleasure in this. This will not be over quickly. You will not enjoy this. I am not your precious Matt. I'm going to make you beg me for a quick death, and when you do, I'll tear out your throat as I continue to have my way with your body.
He opens his mouth, moving in for a forceful kiss. A struggle outside, the sounds of magic being fired from the courtyard. Sombra sits up, confused.
What the?
Seizing the opportunity, Applejack bucks Sombra off her, sending him crashing into a pile of his crystals. As he shakes off the sudden hit, Applejack finds a nearby window. She takes a flying leap, breaking through the glass with a couple cuts in the process. Sombra lets out a powerful roar of rage and gives chase. Applejack runs with all her will as Sombra becomes a massive ball of smoke, chasing after her. She makes it to the courtyard where Shining Armor and the others are fighting off a wave of brainwashed minions. Only Shining Armor is using his magic, while the others have resorted to melee combat. They spot the galloping Applejack, happy to see her.
Look, there she is!
Pinky shouts. Not too far behind their friend is Sombra.
Oh, there he is too!
Shining Armor blasts away the rest of the opposition, knocking them out.
Applejack, behind me,
he commands.
Glad to see you back, Shining Armor.
She smirks as she rejoins her friends.
Glad to be back, he returns the grin.
Did he hurt you?
No, I found an opening to escape.
Impossible.
The black glow forms the giant confused face of Sombra.
How did you break from my spell?
Something that you can never have, Sombra. Shining Armor fires back.
This ends now.
He charges at the cloud, his horn powered to maximum strength. He blasts a powerful wave of magic at the king. Sombra is pushed back, but just a little bit.
Pathetic.
He rushes Shining Armor. Before he can let off another blast, he is engulfed by Sombra.
Shining Armor!
Cadence cries out. After a few seconds, Shining Armor is thrown back out onto the ground. His horn has been crystallized, and he is unconscious and bleeding from a brutal beating that he took while he was in the cloud. Cadence looks up with enraged eyes, but there's nothing she can do to stop Sombra. He maniacally laughs as he forms back into his physical self.
You poor, simple-minded fools. Was he your ace in the hole? If that was your best shot at getting out of here, you are sorely mistaken.
The clock tower in the fortress rings. He listens to the sound like the heavens broke the skies. He is in absolute nirvana.
Looks like your time is up.
He explodes back into his massive smoke formation.
Looks like no pony will be coming to save you.
He flies at them.
Matt,
Applejack whispers.
If you're out there, we could use some help.
Like a prayer being answered, something slams into the center of the courtyard between the 9 ponies and the Sombra cloud. Both parties looking at the smoke clearing in the center. Slowly they see a large crater has formed by the impact, then someone kneeling in the center wearing a slightly ruined country suit made for a wedding. It's Matt. The pony's eyes widen. Shining Armor regains consciousness.
Huh? What's going on?
He mumbles.
You have got to be joking,
Sombra growls. The groom stands up, cracking his shoulders, shaking his legs from the impact. He brings his head up and opens his eyes, revealing 2 white glowing eyes brimming with power. Sombra looks at him with anger, but also a strange sense of curiosity. Matt has only one thing to say. He smiles a small smile, ready to deliver the beatdown of a lifetime.
Hi.